everybody, making another video here. Gonna try and fit one more in before I have to go to work. But I just wanted to share this, like, I haven't finished it yet, but I did this picture of this guy. Kind of looks like Santa Claus, right? So you're probably familiar with what this is, right? It's quite interesting because the last like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, I've had these weird like experiences where I wake up in the morning and I have this like baby hand touching my hand in the dark. It's sort of like the weirdest thing. And it literally is like a baby hand touching my hand in the dark. And so I was like kind of, like I didn't want to know what it was. So I just ignore, you know? And so so for like a week, every morning I would wake up to this baby hand touching my hand, you know, spiritual hand or whatever. Because they do these things. And then I get kind of creeped out because it's just kind of weird. And so I just like roll over and don't look at it, you know? And so finally I was like, okay, obviously I need to see. I need to choose to actually see what is going on here. Then the oddest thing happened is I actually, felt the baby hand, and I was like, alright, I'm looking into the shadow here, and I'm going to see exactly who you are. You keep choosing to do this to me. And so I did. I looked into the shadow, and what was this guy? He peered his head out of the shadow to look at me. And then lives in the shadow, literally lives in the shadow, doesn't want to be seen, and I can see, even when I see him here, he is sort of covered by shadow, doesn't want to be seen, absolutely, like, just uncomfortable in his expression to be seen by a human being. So, sort of the oddest thing, because I don't really, I've never had sort of a relationship with gnomes or fairies or anything like that, other than just, you know, I relate to it as sort of a fairy-like, sort of mythical creature, and never really interacted with them. So I'm making this video just to share. So I named him Harry, because he has this, like, his beard is like super scruffy, and it's not really well kept, and it's longer. And then that's why I called him Harry, because he has this like big like face of hair, this white beard, and he's very adamant that his name is not Harry, and then I need to call him Charles. And so I'm like, all right, but I still can't seem to call him Charles. I still call him Harry because I don't know. I named him Harry, and now I can't go back. But he had this he has a red hat. And gnomes, I've been learning about gnomes since I met him, and it's quite interesting. I don't even know where to begin because the whole thing is so strange. And okay, so I'm just going to begin by sharing some images. So this guy is quite old, like several hundred years old. Like, let's just say 500 years old. So like 700 years old is literally what he's saying. Gnomes at one time actually had a warmer, closer relationship with human beings, but that's become sort of, they've sort of moved into the shadows because human beings, the way human beings interact with each other is scary to them. They're actually scared of human beings, and they don't want to come out of the shadow to interact with human beings. So for him to actually come out of the shadow, to actually touch my hand, to show himself to me, was sort of a really huge deal. And it had a lot to do with, this isn't just about me, this is about, so lately, like as of January, started taking tinctures of plant medicines. And so I get to, so what is just a few drops of a liquid, which is the exact plant that was processed and put into this bottle. So I take yarrow to heal emotional wounds, and I would take aspen as a means to develop connections with, feel connected and in oneness. So these are different. So each plant has sort of a different property, a different special gift, just like each human being has a special gift that it gives. And so when I take these plant medicines, I actually get to digest what is the spirit of the plant itself, and then the plant interacts with me. It heals my body, and then it interacts with me. It's the best thing ever. I'm gonna put a link in here so you can find my my ashwagandha farms. It's just a short video to talk about this heroes blend that I'd been taking. I'm already out of it, but it was really good for grounding and balancing, and exceptional. So as I'm taking these plant medicines, I'm connecting with Mother Earth. I'm connecting with nature in more of a vibrant way, a more real way, a more earthy, grounded way. You can't get that kind of connection eating a Pop-Tart for breakfast and then having pop, and then you know what I mean? You actually have to consume the natural plants themselves to have this like deep connection with the plant spirits and with earth. And from these interactions, my body interacting with this plant medicine, that is how I've somehow made this connection with this guy. And it's sort of an interesting connection, because he really wants to help human beings go back to the earth. He's this terrified gnome. This gnome is terrified of human beings, and still wants to help human beings find a way to come back to Mother Nature, so that we can live in harmony and love and balance, and we can actually interact with them again. And so this is very real. It's very odd. But even now, like every morning, this little baby hand touches me, and he's taller. Like he's like what would be like 2 feet tall, let's just say, and big red tall cap. And it's from what I've learned, they have different colored caps, and their cap is sort of associated with whatever their job is, or their gift it is within their group, and this is their responsibility. He has shown me some things, like what are forests with absolutely ginormous trees, and I've never seen a redwood, but I could only think that it would be something like a redwood. But the feeling is so old. Like he's like a lot. Where a human being could live 60 years, he could live hundreds of years. So he has seen human history and time change, and people gravitate away from working with the gifts of the forest to now working actual desk jobs and having absolutely no relationship with the earth anymore. To completely disconnected with the earth. That is so unhealthy. That is so just absolutely disturbing and ridiculous. Why have we left the earth? It is so strange, you know what I mean? And so I don't know why. I just wanted to showcase. So this is Charles, but I call him Harry still, and I'm not done coloring him yet. And but I just wanted to show that. Really talk about, this video is just really to remind you about Mother Earth, and really make you think about who are you in society? What are you as a creation in a universe, an infinite universe? What are you as a creation in an infinite universe? What are you in this lifetime doing that is like, what is the most satisfying life you could possibly live? It's like you think about taking a vacation. Where do you want to go? You want to go to beautiful, pristine parts of the earth where there's like beautiful trees and beach and beautiful, clean water. And you actually have to go to these places because you can't just find them where you live. You know what I mean? So just thinking about, these are just ideas, and thinking about ways of reconnecting. This guy has inspired me. I'm not very good with plants, and was inspired to get an aloe vera plant, which has healing properties. It shares healing properties, and I actually cut a little slab off and ate it, and it's kind of odd because it's got this skin to it, and then on the inside it's got this sort of liquid juice sort of, but it's very, you can eat aloe vera, you can use it on your skin. It is good, it's edible, and it's good for the skin. It's good for everything. It has like superior healing properties. And so he has inspired me to get this aloe vera plant. So I officially have a plant in my house, and I hope it lives for a long time. Aloe veras apparently are really hard to kill, so it should be good, I hope. So that's all. This is just all I'm going to talk about in this video. I have a feeling there's a lot more. You know, let me just stop for a minute and just see if there's something that Harry could share with us. Okay, so he's sort of see him standing way down here, and sort of right next to me, and I've been seeing a lot more of these gnomes in my apartment, and I don't really know what to do about that. They're like little children all over my legs. I'm walking around and I can see them. They're invisible people, you know. They live in some other dimension or something. I can't understand it, but they're there. And so it's really about being happy. Really wanting to feel my heartbeat with joy is what this is. Coming to me to help me find ways to feel happy. Wants to see human beings happy. Wants to see human beings' hearts beat with joy is what he's saying. He touches my hand to let me know he is here and that he loves me is what he's saying. He's different than the other ones I talk to. He's trying to help human beings see that there's more out there than just aliens and spirits. There's gnomes too, and fairies, and there's all different kinds of creations in an infinite universe that are here loving human beings, that are here to help us. It's sort of like he spies on me, so he knows everything. He knows about what I do and what I'm trying to accomplish, and he wants to help me with this. And it's like, I'm not going to let you fail, is the only way I could describe it. I'm not going to let you fail. You'll be successful at this. He's so loving. I've not connected with him in this way before, but I can feel how loving he is. So genuine, sort of like a super loving grandpa, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't get more loving than grandpa or grandma. You know, grandma and grandpa are like the most loving, like old people on the planet, and so he's sort of like this super loving old, just like grandpa figure. So tender and loving, and you know, forgives all, so to speak. Patient with everything. Only way I could describe it. Just really wants to see me happy. That's all I could say about that. What else do you have to tell me about this? I can see him so clearly. So I didn't color him quite accurately because he's like it's just all a super yellow jacket, and then maybe a white shirt underneath, but he's a very yellow colored jacket, and then trying to see, it's just really yellow here, but this red hat, let me see. It's just got such a hairy beard, and it like kind of comes out to the side even. Like such a humongous white beard. And he's not tall. He's like a little miniature man. An old grandpa that is like super miniature. What else do you... So gnomes do more. It says like we do more than just work with the earth. We want to heal all living organisms. In human beings, then, he's showing me that he has a different purpose, that he also, okay, well, we can describe as wanderer, journeyman, explorer, taking care of other living organisms. Not just trees or plants, but other versions of trees, like human beings and rabbits and other animals. So like he's like a helper with animals. Let me see here. He's giving me a sort of like a crystal as a means for healing energy. He's like really all about helping me find ways to heal myself. So I can be like a thriving plant, because all human beings need to be like thriving plants. And he's really wanting to heal me. This is odd. This is really odd. this is serious. What he's showing me is like gnomes are coming like cockroaches into all your homes and going to do like little gnome warriors of love to heal all human beings. They're like super, they're sort of like themselves going through their own process of awakening and choosing to interact with humans and heal human beings right now. This is really weird. Literally I'm seeing like gnomes coming from everywhere and then actually entering homes and choosing to help human beings from their their shadow world. They're trying to inspire healing, inspire you to think about connecting with nature and crystals and healing energy and eating healthy plants and putting plants in your home. And so he's saying that you're going to start having odd inspirations. They actually can communicate with each other all across the globe. So like Harry the gnome here in Iowa talks to some other gnome in Japan. Like they talk to each other, and there's lots of them. What is like this cockroach infestation of gnomes, but they're like super good. Like you want these all over your house. Like you want gnomes, and so little people of love. And they're sort of relating to the fact that human beings are going through their own sort of change, and literally the time is now that they feel that they can assist us and help us, and they're like free from their own imprisonment. It's almost odd, but it's almost like they too have been experiencing their own ordeal of suffering. And now they're like sort of like let the hounds loose sort of thing, and they're like running and ready to help and ready to spread love and spread healing and help human beings. It's almost like they've been unable to for a very long time, and that has created suffering in them to not be able to come out of the woodwork and help us. So I'm asking, well then how come it felt like you were afraid? Like you hide in the shadows. You're like a shadow gnome. How come it feels like you're afraid? And he does, he is showing me literally that, let's just throw this out there for the story's sake, but this is the only way I could describe it. So let's just say a couple weeks ago, so to speak, human beings were still very much under sort of like a manipulative wave of energy. And now all of a sudden that wave of energy isn't there, and they can tell, they can see, they can sense it, they know this, they can see all this. And now because that energy or that whatever it was isn't there anymore, literally as of like the last couple of weeks or something like that, now the hounds are loose, now they're free. Now that they see that this is all gone, they are safe to help human beings again. That's the only way I could describe it. So they do feel like they feel free to help human beings is the only way I could describe it. So everybody, this is the picture, is I'm seeing lots of houses, and every single house has gnomes in them. Whether you see them or not, there are gnomes in your house. All houses, doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor, all houses have gnomes in them. Because gnomes need to help all living organisms, not just plants, not just crops, not just the earth, but human beings too, because human beings are plants for Mother Earth as well. Human beings are essential sort of the earth needs human beings. And so to create the balance, then they also need to help humans, and they are absolutely engaged in every single human being right now, and without fear, without like wanting to help you, wanting you to know that they're there with you. So strange. Wanting to feel your hearts beat with joy. That's the only way I could describe it. Let me see, what else do we have? So like really into crystals. He keeps handing me crystal, and see, I have this crystal ball. It's like I have it with me all the time. I like it. It's like my best friend. It's like you have orbs, like souls, like loving souls. Like it's like my little physical orb or something, and it's like the energy of it is so beautiful, and I love holding it in my hand, and I love allowing it to help me see more clearly. And it does too. And he keeps touching this, like showing me crystal in my hand, sort of an inspiration for me to make sure I would get this. Because I touch this crystal every single day, and so this crystal then heals me every single day. He's saying crystals are like medicine that you don't eat, but you touch and you set it on your body, and you work with crystals in different ways and allow that energy to heal you in different ways. Plants are like physical healers that you can consume to heal you. Crystals are like energetic healers that you can touch and place on the body in different areas, and the crystal energy will be absorbed into your body and into your aura and all that energy field, and that it heals you that way too. So he's just talking about ways that you can heal. He's really adamant about filling your home with green living things. That plants clean the air of your house, so the air in your house doesn't get stale and old and sort of dirty or murky with like old vibrating energy. That plants are alive. They're like adding more living elements into your home, and they're sort of like they create a richness, a vibrancy that when your house is filled with plants, you feel that through looking at all the living plants, all of the living earth that is in your home. And then if the plants aren't there, then you don't, there's like sort of a lacking sensation that you don't really know that it is lacking unless you have a house full of plants and then suddenly you take all of them away and then you feel it. So he's really all about human beings bringing plants into their home as well. It's like the gnomes will help you grow your plants. The gnomes will teach you what to do. We know these things. That's the only way you can describe what he's saying. He's just really happy, really smiling, really big, because I chose to share about him. So super loving, kind. See, he wants you to see. So he has these very loving eyes and a very cheerful smile, and all gnomes are this way. Like really boisterous beard that just scruffy, really scruffy, and just hair going in all different directions. Just really loving eyes, really happy, and just really just happy, wants to help human beings. That's the only way I can do this. That's all I can say about that. Let me see. Gnomes are real. It's like he's just saying, human beings don't think about gnomes, don't see gnomes, don't relate to the existence of gnomes, and gnomes are real. That's the other thing he's saying right now. Gnomes are real. We do live here on your planet with you. We choose to sort of like live in an alternate dimension, or live in a different, where we're invisible to you. That's the only way I can describe it. We actually do physically live on your planet, and we are physically real beings. Some human beings have actually seen us, is what he says. Some human beings actually can see us as though we are right there living amongst them. And we are sort of like living in an alternate dimension. It's the only way I could describe it. But on Earth with us, as simultaneously living with us. That's so silly. He's showing me what is like a gnome walking up, like it's like some like broken down sort of like crack house or something. Like that's the only way I could describe it, is like that weird. It's like that like sort of deranged sort of side of like some dirty city, and then you see this like happy little gnome running up the stairs, like trying to just share love and laughter through this like very deranged sort of nightmare sort of crack house is the only way I can describe it. Very dirty, everything is broken, everything is dirty, and he's like, human beings live in these places. Human beings actually live. He's like, this is not healthy, this is not good, this is very sad, this makes us very sad. We need human beings to be laughing, we need human beings to be joyful. We need human beings to talk to Mother Earth and receive crystals and receive healing. That's what he's saying. He's showing me stars go outside, look at the stars at night, allow stars to shine their light on you. He said this is real. Just because they're so far away, you still see their light. Their light is still hitting your planet, and that is real. You actually do experience light from the stars, whether you know it or not. And the moonlight is, he said, like, wow. He's showing me what moonlight is like so majestic, so mystical. People need to look at the full moon every single time the full moon is present. You need to go outside and actually look at the full moon and receive the light of the full moon. That's what he's saying. This is plants receive the light of the full moon. Plants receive the light of the stars. Plants receive the light of the sun. Plants receive the rain. Plants receive the wind. Plants receive the fresh air. Plants receive all of these things, but what do human beings receive? They go inside of these dirty homes that they're broken. He's showing me this place that is so dirty and broken and is so tragic, and human beings living there, even children living there. And these gnomes are actually joyfully like doing cartwheels and handstands and being silly and being really boisterous, trying whatever they can to create joy, some sort of vibration or harmony of joy to alter sort of that scary sort of energy that is sort of hovering there and feeding off of the human mind and the human sort of energy that is disturbing. It's hungry for this darker energies, hungry for disturbing energies, inspires disturbing energies out of us so that it can feed off of them. And then these gnomes, like, they're sort of like, they're odd, they're sort of like nobody notices them, and so they can just do cartwheels through like what is this nightmare, and nobody notices. But they're trying really hard to sort of set free or create some sort of laughter or harmony all over the place. Sort of strange because they live in the shadows, but yet they want to help somehow. They want to find some way to help. So, okay, that is all I can share right now, but this was quite a fun sort of video, because I never talk about gnomes, and sort of a new thing for me. So, anyway, that is all I have for this video. I do channeled readings on my website. If you're interested, you should check it out. My website is Abbey wisdomquest.com. I'd love to do a channeled reading for you. It's really fun for me to channel in wisdom and see the information that comes to me, and I do videos. I will channel you your own personal private video that I will send you a downloadable link to, so that way you can have a video of me channeling a message to you about any question that you may have, and then whatever comes as well. So that is all I have for today, and thank you very much for watching.